The Battle of Britain, an in-depth story of courage and defiance. In the summer of 1940, as the war in Europe raged on, Britain stood as the last bastion of freedom against Nazi tyranny. The Battle of Britain, fought between the Royal Air Force, RAF, and the German Luftwaffe, became one of the defining moments of the Second World War. But beyond the facts, statistics, and strategies, there were personal stories of extraordinary bravery, sacrifice, and resilience. The calm before the storm. It was early summer in 1940, and the British people, fresh from the retreat of the British Expeditionary Force at Dunkirk, were quietly hoping for some respite. Yet, the shadow of war hung heavy over the nation. Adolf Hitler's plans for an invasion of Britain, known as Operation Sea Lion, were beginning to take shape. But before the Nazis could land on British soil, they needed to first control the skies. The Battle of Britain was about to begin, and the RAF was the first line of defense. The men who would take to the skies were ordinary citizens, many of whom had never imagined they would become pilots. They came from diverse backgrounds: working-class lads, university students, farmers, and even those from the British colonies. Among them was Sergeant Pilot George Onwin, who recalled in later years, "I was just a boy when the war broke out. One moment I was learning to fly, and the next I was in the thick of it, fighting for my life and my country." The early days, July 10th to August 7th, 1940. The battle officially began on July 10th, 1940, when the Luftwaffe launched raids against British shipping in the English Channel. The RAF had already been on high alert, but nothing could prepare them for the scale of what was to come. Squadron leader Sir Hugh Dowding, the head of RAF Fighter Command, knew the importance of the coming months. With only a limited number of pilots and aircraft, Dowding had to make tough decisions every day. One of the most important aspects of the Battle of Britain was the RAF's use of radar, an innovation that allowed the British to detect incoming German aircraft and mount an effective defense. Radar operators like Johnny Johnson found themselves at the heart of the action. We would scan the skies day and night with our radar equipment, looking for any sign of enemy planes. When we spotted them, we would relay the information to the fighters, he reminisced. The men on the ground played a crucial role, guiding the pilots to their targets in the sky. Meanwhile, in the cockpit, the airmen were facing a terrifying and relentless foe. Flying Officer Derek Wood of 303 Squadron, a Polish unit made up of Polish refugees who had escaped the German invasion of Poland, remembered his first encounter with the Luftwaffe. "I saw the enemy bombers coming in, and my heart pounded. But then I saw my fellow pilots, men I'd come to trust, and I knew we were in it together. We climbed into the sky, and I never looked back." For many, it was a trial by fire. The Luftwaffe initially targeted British shipping and airfields, but soon they shifted focus to attacking RAF radar stations. These early encounters were brutal, and both sides suffered heavy losses. But despite the odds, the RAF held its ground, inflicting damage on the Luftwaffe and preventing them from achieving total air superiority. The Blitz, August 24th to October 31st, 1940. As the summer turned to fall, the nature of the battle began to change. The Luftwaffe, frustrated by their inability to defeat the RAF, shifted tactics. Instead of focusing solely on military targets, they began bombing civilian centers, particularly London. This marked the beginning of the Blitz, a period of intense bombing raids against British cities, industrial centers, and civilian infrastructure. Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister, delivered an iconic speech that captured the nation's resolve. "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." These words would become etched into the annals of history, a tribute to the bravery of the RAF pilots. The civilian population endured the Blitz with remarkable fortitude. Air raid sirens would wail as German bombers appeared in the night skies, their deadly payloads falling indiscriminately onto homes, schools, and hospitals. But despite the terror, the British people refused to break. Among the civilians was Ethel Harris, a Londoner who remembered those dark nights. "I lived in the East End of London, and I'll never forget the sound of the bombs hitting. But we didn't give up. We kept going to work, and rebuilding what was destroyed. We were fighting our own way." The spirit of defiance was felt in every corner of the country. The RAF, Heroes of the sky. For the RAF pilots, the toll was immense. Squadron leader Jeffrey Wellham, a young pilot who joined the RAF at 18, was thrust into the thick of the battle. He described his experiences in his memoir, First Light. The noise of the engines, the chaos of combat, the endless sky stretching before me. It was like nothing I had ever experienced. I could see the German bombers, their formation almost perfect. I aimed my sights and opened fire. The whole sky seemed to explode around me. Wellham's squadron was just one of many that defended Britain's skies. The Spitfires and Hurricanes became symbols of British resistance. Their sleek, agile frames cut through the skies, engaging German bombers and fighters in deadly dogfights. But it wasn't just the machines, it was the men and women who flew them. Wing Commander Bob Stanford Tuck, one of the most famous RAF aces of the Battle of Britain, often recalled the tight-knit camaraderie that existed among the pilots. In the air, we were family. We looked out for each other. If one of us went down, we'd all feel it. But we also knew we had a job to do. By the end of October, the Luftwaffe had failed to achieve its objective of breaking the RAF. Despite heavy bombing, British morale remained high. The RAF, with its dwindling resources, had proven that it could stand up to the might of the German war machine. The Luftwaffe had lost far more aircraft and pilots than the British, and it became clear that an invasion of Britain was no longer feasible. Aftermath: a nation's gratitude. In the wake of the battle, Britain had secured a crucial victory. The German invasion plans were postponed indefinitely, and the RAF pilots, many of whom were just young men thrust into the greatest conflict the world had ever known, were hailed as heroes. Their bravery had preserved Britain's ability to fight on. However, the cost was high. The RAF lost 544 pilots, while the Luftwaffe lost approximately 1,800 aircraft. But the greatest sacrifice was often invisible: the psychological toll on the pilots who fought in the skies. Sir Hugh Dowding, who had masterminded the defense strategy, would later reflect, "We didn't win the battle. The men won it." The determination, courage, and unyielding spirit of the RAF were what made the difference. For many, the Battle of Britain was not just a military victory, but a symbol of what could be achieved when a nation refused to surrender, when ordinary men and women like George Onwin, Derek Wood, and Ethel Harris found the courage to stand against tyranny. In the years that followed, the veterans of the Battle of Britain were commemorated in books, films, and memorials. But it was the stories, the personal accounts, the reminiscences, the anecdotes that truly captured the spirit of the battle. In the face of impossible odds, these men and women proved that courage and resolve could turn the tide of war. The Battle of Britain was not just a fight for the skies. It was a fight for the soul of a nation, and it remains a testament to the power of the human spirit in the face of adversity. Polyspeaks for You incorporates voice control features that allow users to perform essential actions like opening, saving, and creating new documents, as well as interacting with font and document editing dialogues. This is particularly helpful for individuals with disabilities, enabling hands-free operation and more accessible content management. Below are some of the voice control functionalities designed for ease of use. 1. Voice-commanded document handling. Open document. Users can say commands like "open document," followed by the file name or location, and Poly will open the document for them. Save document. Commands like "save document as" or "save" allow the user to save their work without needing to manually click on buttons. Poly can also handle saving with specific file names or locations as dictated. A new document. A simple voice command such as "create new document" or "start new file" will initiate a fresh document in the app. A closed document. Commands like "close document" or "exit" can be used to close the current document. 2. Font dialog voice controls. Font style. Users can control font settings by saying "change font to Arial" or "set font at Times New Roman." This would change the selected text's font style. A font size. Commands like "increase font size" or "decrease font size" adjust the text size according to user preferences. A font color. Users can use commands such as "set font color to red" or "change font to blue." to personalize the text color. 3. Voice-commanded document editing. A text formatting. Commands like bold text, italicized text, underline text, or strikeout text allow users to edit their document easily. For example, saying bold this text will apply bold formatting to the selected text. Alignment. Users can command alignment changes by saying align left, align center, or align right. A text insertion. A user can say insert text, and the software will insert the given text at the current cursor position. A text navigation. Commands such as go to the top, scroll down, or move to the next paragraph enable users to navigate the document without the need for a mouse or keyboard. 4. Voice-activated help and assistance. Help commands. Users can ask questions like, "What can I do?" or "Help me with saving" to receive guidance on specific tasks. Poly can offer step-by-step instructions based on voice queries. A undo/redo. Voice commands such as undo or redo let users correct mistakes or revert to previous actions in their document. 5. Advanced features for accessibility. Speech recognition training. For improved accuracy, Poly can guide users through the Windows speech recognition training process, adapting to their voice patterns and improving dictation accuracy. A text-to-speech for editing. Users can have text read aloud to them while editing, making it easier to spot errors and refine their documents. These voice-controlled features make Poly Speaks for You an accessible tool for individuals with disabilities, particularly those with visual impairments, mobility issues, or other conditions that limit their ability to use traditional input devices. The hands-free operation helps users maintain independence and improve their document management and editing experience. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to stay updated with more content. The creator of Poly Speaks for You has always been driven by a passion for giving a voice to those who need it most. Whether it's through text-to-speech technology or voice recognition, the goal has always been to create tools that help individuals, especially those with disabilities or learning challenges, communicate and interact with the world in a way that is meaningful and empowering. The stories shared, such as those about the sailors aboard the HMS Victory, are not just about reliving history, they are about the power of voice. Through Poly Speaks for You, the creator saw an opportunity to use storytelling as a medium to convey courage, strength, and resilience, much like the sailors of the past. These stories are intended to inspire and engage users, reminding them of the importance of their voices, both literally and metaphorically. The idea behind these stories is to showcase how technology, particularly speech technology, can be a tool for preserving history, while also empowering users with the capability to share their own narratives. By blending history with technology, the creator of Poly Speaks for You aims to demonstrate how powerful a voice can be in shaping and sharing our world, past and present. In a sense, these stories represent more than just entertainment. They are a way for the creator to give a voice to history, to connect with users in a deeply human way, and to remind them that their voices matter, whether they are telling their own stories or those of others. The creator's work in developing Poly Speaks for You is never just about making a functional tool. It was about making sure that every voice had the power to be heard. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to stay updated with more content. This content has been adapted from the powerful features of Poly Speaks for You, South Africa's leading accessibility software. Learn more at www.polyspeaksforyou.co.za. We invite you to support this meaningful dyslexic initiative, crafted and developed by an individual who personally understands the challenges of dyslexia.